Have you ever wondered how the concept of sin originated? Today we journey back to the dawn of time, to the story of Adam and Eve. This tale, steeped in mystery and intrigue, introduces us to the concept of original sin, a notion that has shaped and influenced diverse cultures and religions worldwide. So buckle up as we prepare to delve into the mystical realms of the past, to unravel the captivating and emotionally charged story of Adam and Eve. In the beginning, there was only God, a solitary, omnipotent entity, the architect of the universe, who decided to craft a world teeming with life. Among the myriad of his creations, one stood out, a creature shaped from the very dust of the earth. This creature, named Adam, was the first human, a being of intellect and spirit, designed in the very image of God himself. In the divine workshop, God breathed life into Adam, and his first breath was a gust of divine essence, a spark that ignited the human spirit. Adam was a solitary figure in an expanse of creation, the only one of his kind. But God, in his infinite wisdom, decided that it was not good for man to be alone. So he caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, and from his side, God took one of Adam's ribs. From this rib, he fashioned another creature, a companion for Adam. This was Eve, the first woman, a perfect counterpart, his equal in every way. Now, picture the Garden of Eden, a paradise unlike any other. It was a place of absolute peace and harmony, where the lion lay down with the lamb, and rivers of crystal-clear water flowed unceasingly. Verdant greenery stretched as far as the eye could see, and trees laden with succulent fruit stood tall and proud. There, in the midst of this paradise, Adam and Eve lived, unburdened by guilt or shame. They walked with God in the cool of the day, experiencing a freedom and peace that is beyond our comprehension. In this Edenic state, Adam and Eve were free to do as they pleased, with only one exception. God had placed a single restriction upon them, a test of their obedience and love for their Creator. But that's a story for another time. For now, let us revel in the beauty of Eden, in the innocence and purity of humanity's first home. Life was perfect in the Garden of Eden, but everything was about to change. In the midst of Eden stood the tree of knowledge, bearing the forbidden fruit. This tree, unlike any other in the garden, held a tantalizing secret. Its fruit promised the knowledge of good and evil, a knowledge reserved only for the divine. Yet, as we all know, it was this very tree that would forever change the course of human history. Enter the serpent, a crafty creature more cunning than any other in the garden. It slithered to Eve, whispering sweet nothings of the tree's forbidden fruit. It spoke of the knowledge it held, the power it could bestow. The serpent's silver tongue painted a picture of a world where humans were no less than gods, a world where they dictated their own destiny. Eve, intrigued and tempted, found herself drawn to the tree. She stared at the fruit, its allure irresistible. The promise of knowledge, the thrill of power, the lure of the unknown, all wrapped in a single fruit. After a moment of hesitation, she reached out and plucked the fruit, its skin smooth and warm in her hand. And then she took a bite. The taste, unlike anything she had ever experienced, was a revelation. She felt a rush of understanding, a flood of awareness. She had tasted knowledge, and with it, the birth of human free will. Eve, now bearing the weight of knowledge, turned to Adam. She shared with him the fruit, the promise it held, and the power it had bestowed upon her. Adam, swayed by Eve's passion and the fruit's allure, followed suit. He bit into the fruit, and just like Eve, he tasted knowledge and sin. This act, often interpreted as the birth of human free will, marked a pivotal moment in history. It was a testament to the human spirit, to our ceaseless quest for knowledge, and to our innate curiosity. It was also a stark reminder of our susceptibility to temptation, our fallibility, and our capacity for disobedience. With a single bite, they tasted knowledge and sin. Their eyes were opened, and they knew they were naked. In a moment of stark realization, the world as Adam and Eve knew it was irrevocably altered. No longer shielded by their innocence, they felt the harsh sting of nakedness, of vulnerability. This was the first consequence of their disobedience, the immediate aftermath of their choice to bite into the forbidden fruit. In the wake of this newfound awareness, they felt an instinctual urge to cover themselves, to hide from the piercing gaze of God, their Creator. They sewed fig leaves together, a feeble attempt to shield their nakedness, their shame, but the physical nakedness was only a reflection of a deeper spiritual exposure. The veil of innocence had been lifted, and they were laid bare before the omnipotent God. Then came the confrontation with God. No longer basking in his divine favor, they cowered under the thunderous echo of his voice. The voice that once brought comfort, now filled with righteous anger. God, in his infinite wisdom and justice, was not oblivious to their transgression. He sought them out, not out of ignorance of their actions, but to give them an opportunity to confess, to own up to their disobedience, but instead they chose to pass the blame, a desperate attempt to evade responsibility. Their attempts were futile. God, in his righteous wrath, pronounced their punishments. The serpent who had beguiled Eve was cursed above all creatures, doomed to slither on its belly for all eternity. Eve was condemned to suffer the pains of childbirth and to be under her husband's authority. Adam was cursed to toil the ground, the very soil he was formed from, only to return to it after a lifetime of hardship and suffering. And so, the paradise that was the Garden of Eden was lost to them. The gate was closed, guarded by cherubim with a flaming sword, a stark reminder of their fall from grace. The lush garden, once a place of joy and communion with God, had become a symbol of their lost innocence and the cost of their disobedience. From paradise they were banished, doomed to toil and suffer. The gates of Eden closed behind them, marking the beginning of humanity as we know it. As Adam and Eve ventured into the world, they carried with them not just the weight of their actions but a profound legacy, the concept of original sin. In religious contexts, original sin refers to the fallen state of human nature. It's the inherent fault in our moral fabric, a consequence of Adam and Eve's disobedience. They tasted the forbidden fruit, succumbing to temptation and inciting the wrath of the divine. Their transgression, according to many faiths, is passed down to all their descendants. It's a burden we're born with, a spiritual debt unpaid. But the concept of original sin isn't just confined to the realm of the sacred, it permeates through philosophical discourses too. It's used as a metaphor to discuss our inherent flaws, our innate tendency to err. It's a reminder of our fallibility, our human proclivity towards disobedience and rebellion. The story of Adam and Eve is a rich tapestry of themes and symbols. It's a tale of temptation and the inherent curiosity that led to their downfall. It speaks of punishment, of divine retribution for actions deemed unfit, but most importantly, it's a story about redemption, about the possibility of salvation despite our flawed nature. Adam and Eve, the first man and woman, set the precedent for the rest of humanity. They showed us that actions have consequences, that choices matter. They taught us about the power of free will, the beauty and burden of our autonomy. They were the first to err, the first to seek forgiveness, and the first to face the consequences. Their story, our legacy, is a reminder of the power of choice and the consequences that follow. It's a testament to our shared humanity, our collective journey through the ages. It's a narrative of our struggles, our triumphs, and most importantly, our relentless pursuit of redemption. The story of Adam and Eve is more than just a tale from the past. It's a narrative steeped in symbolism and moral lessons that continue to resonate with us today. We began our journey exploring the creation, a moment of divine magnificence that birthed the first humans, Adam and Eve. Then, we delved into the allure of the forbidden fruit, a symbol of temptation and the human tendency towards curiosity and disobedience. This act of defiance led to consequences which we've discussed in detail. The repercussions were severe, leading to their expulsion from the Garden of Eden, a paradise lost due to a single choice. From there, we've explored the legacy of the original sin, a concept that has been interpreted and reinterpreted throughout history. It's a legacy that speaks of the human condition, our inherent flaws, and our capacity for redemption. In essence, the story of Adam and Eve is a reflection of our own lives. It's a narrative of choices and consequences, of temptation and redemption. It teaches us that while we may falter, we also hold the power to seek forgiveness and make amends. As we navigate through our lives, let's remember the lessons from Eden. Choices matter, actions have consequences, and redemption is always possible. This tale from the past continues to serve as a compass, guiding us through the complexities of life and morality.